Let me tell you something that took me 14 years of medical practice to finally admit out loud. The advice we've been giving people about belly fat is incomplete. Eat less, move more, do crunches. I said those words to hundreds of patients, and most of them came back the next year heavier, frustrated, and blaming themselves. Then one of my patients, a 52-year-old teacher named Grace, walked into my office and her belly was flat. Not from a diet, not from a gym. I asked her what she did differently. What she told me changed how I practice medicine. Stay with me, because what flattened my own belly, and Grace's, has nothing to do with willpower. Here's what nobody tells you. Belly fat, specifically the fat that sits deep inside your abdomen, the kind that pushes your stomach out, is not a food problem first. It is a hormone problem first. That fat is called visceral fat, and it responds directly to one hormone more than any other: cortisol, your stress hormone. A study published in the journal Obesity by researchers at Yale University found that women with higher cortisol levels consistently stored more fat in the abdominal region, even when their total body weight was similar to women with lower cortisol. Same calories eaten, different cortisol, different belly. When cortisol stays high from work pressure, poor sleep, constant phone notifications, relationship stress, your body goes into a fat storage emergency mode. It says, I don't know when the next crisis is coming, so I'm going to hold on to this fat right here in the middle, close to my vital organs as emergency fuel. Your body is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is, your body thinks you are running from a lion when you were just checking your email. So the first thing I changed was not my plate, it was my nervous system. Every morning, before I looked at my phone, before I drank coffee, before I spoke a single word, I did 4 minutes of something called 4-7-8 breathing. You breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. Dr. Andrew Weil at the University of Arizona has called this the single most powerful relaxation technique he has ever studied. It directly activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the off switch for cortisol. A clinical study from the Journal of Clinical Psychology showed that just 5 minutes of slow, controlled exhale-heavy breathing lowered salivary cortisol measurably in participants after only 2 weeks of practice. 2 weeks, not 2 years, 2 weeks. I did this every morning for 30 days. I did not change my breakfast. I did not run. I simply stopped starting my day in a cortisol storm. By week 3, my trousers were looser. This is not magic. This is biology. Now let me tell you about the most underrated belly flattening tool in existence. It costs nothing. You're supposed to do it anyway. Most people in modern cities are doing it wrong. Sleep. Not just any sleep, specifically sleep before midnight. Researchers at the University of Chicago ran a study where 2 groups of people ate the same calories. One group slept 8.5 hours, the other group slept 5.5 hours. After 2 weeks, the sleep-deprived group lost 55% less fat, and most of what they did lose came from muscle, not fat. Their bellies actually grew during the study. Here's the mechanism. Between roughly 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., your body releases the highest pulse of human growth hormone, the hormone responsible for burning visceral fat while you sleep. When you stay awake scrolling at midnight, you interrupt that pulse. You literally cancel your body's free overnight fat-burning surgery. I moved my sleep time from 1 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. I put my phone in another room. Within 3 weeks, without changing a single meal, my waist started responding. Grace, my patient, told me the same thing. She started sleeping earlier after her husband began snoring in the other room. She had accidentally stumbled into the fat-burning window without even knowing it existed. Here's a piece of research that I genuinely wish I had learned in medical school.
A landmark study from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that certain gut bacteria, specifically a strain called Lactobacillus gasseri, when present in sufficient amounts in the gut, led to a significant reduction in visceral belly fat over 12 weeks in participants who made no other lifestyle changes. The participants took a probiotic containing this strain, average visceral fat reduction 8.5%, without dieting. What kills these good bacteria? Antibiotics, ultra-processed food, chronic stress, which brings us back to cortisol, and alcohol. What feeds them? Fermented foods. I added 1 tablespoon of natural yogurt with live cultures to my morning. I added half a cup of fermented vegetables and simple homemade fermented cabbage 3 times a week. Your belly is partly a garden. If the wrong bacteria are overpopulated, you will bloat, you will store fat, you will crave sugar. You are not weak, your garden is just overgrown with weeds. Feed the right bacteria, watch the belly change. I said no hard exercise. I did not say no movement. Research from the Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory following over 15,000 walkers and runners found that walking at a brisk pace reduced belly fat markers as effectively as running when the energy expenditure was matched. But here's the key that most people miss. The best time to walk for visceral fat specifically is after your evening meal. A 2022 study published in Sports Medicine confirmed that a 15 to 20-minute walk after dinner lowered post-meal blood sugar, reduced overnight insulin levels, and directly targeted visceral fat storage over time. Not a 10 km run, a gentle 15-minute walk after dinner. That is what I did every night, even when it was dark outside, even for just around the compound. 15 minutes. Small, consistent, targeted. That is more powerful than occasional punishment. So here's what actually flattened my belly. Lower cortisol in the morning with 4 minutes of breathing. Sleep before midnight to protect my fat-burning hormone window. Feed my gut bacteria with simple fermented food. Walk 15 minutes after dinner. No starvation, no gym suffering, no willpower battles. Just working with the biology of this body instead of fighting against it. If you try even one of these things this week, I want you to come back and tell me in the comments what you noticed, not after 6 months, after 2 weeks. Your body is not your enemy. It just needs better instructions. I'm the doctor, and I'll see you in the next one.